Okay, we're on meeting.
There we go.
We hear
Yeah, but it just haven't worked out all the buzz. There's,
We're
Little
missing a
bugs.
commissioner.
all right. It's about 1:10, 21st of September 2021. Liberty County Commissioners Court special meeting. We have form established. Record show that Commissioner Kolkowski, Commissioner Arthur here present, Commissioner Wilson's on Zoom with us. We're looking for Commissioner Whitmire. I know he's trying to log in. Matthew Poster, County Attorney's with us, and so is Catherine McCarty. And Mr. Godin, our county auditor, is here also, and Sheriff's here, and so is Rick Brown, tax assessor collector. Okay. You want to give just another minute, see if David can zoom in or not, or keep on going. Keep rolling.
Right on.
All right, first item on the agenda is bills to be paid. Pay the bills.
Do we have a list?
See, Dwayne, we have anything on bill to be paid? No. How about budget amendments, number 2? Have anything, add-ons or anything, Dwayne? No. Nothing? Okay. I always give you an opportunity just in case. I appreciate it. Number 3, Matthew Post, County Attorney, consider to approve the contract for medical services for inmates confined in the Liberty County Jail with Turnkey Health Clinics LLC. Sheriff, you want to lead us in this, or would you like to get Penny up here? Maybe y'all do it together, or?
Well, actually, Matthew has reviewed the contract, Judge. It took, as you know, it caught us by surprise. We got notice over the Labor Day weekend that our present vendor was not going to be there anymore. I told the one bid we got, the very first bid we got was $1,700,000, and we kind of tossed that to the side, and then Turnkey came in and worked very well with Penny, and I told them if they make Penny happy and Matthew happy, everything's going to be good. So Matthew had several revisions over the couple of weeks, and I think everything, Matthew, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you agree with everything in the contract now?
That's correct. Yes, we had several things that we went back and forth with them over. For example, the biggest item was in their original submitted contract, there would be a 60-day delay before they would hold us harmless and cover us for any of their malpractice. Medical malpractice is a very real threat. I didn't want to, certainly even for 60 days, take that risk. So we went back and forth with them. They have taken out that they will be covering it effective immediately. So, but the contract looks good. I had a couple of minor additions. Dee Dee, you should have both the final contract version as well as the addendums that I add for the standard no boycotting Israel, no doing business with terrorist organizations language that we have to have under the code. But everything looks good, checks out.
Good.
Penny, what do you think about it?
Yes, sir. We're very happy with it. We did work with Matthew, Sheriff, and we went back on some things that we didn't really like in the contract previously with Southern Health Partners. So we made sure that we implemented those in this contract with this Turnkey group. And Matthew and Catherine both went back and forth and got it to where I think the county would be very happy with what we have. We really did do some changes and protections and things that I feel like is going to benefit us this year.
As long as we're happy and the Commission on Jail Standards is happy, Sheriff.
Yes. Yes.
And Chief, you know what I'm talking about. I do.
This late in the game, did this fit into our budget?
I don't know what the line is. What is the amount?
Yes, it does. It's coming in. a little bit more than what we were budgeted for Southern Health Partners, but it's not anything that was, I mean, maybe 30,000, maybe more. So, I mean, it wasn't anything that was major that we had to go back and get more budgeted for. It's already under what they've already budgeted by Indigent Healthcare Department for. So we didn't have to go back and get, you know, more funding for it.
All right.
So,
Leon, got any questions?
No, sir, we need it.
I move to approve.
Second.
All right, got a motion from Greg, second from Bruce to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nay. That motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Dwayne.
That's one check mark off the list there, Sheriff.
yay.
Next one, number 4, from Matthew, County Attorney. Consider to approve the contract with Security Services Marine Security Solutions Incorporated for provision of security services at the Liberty County Tax Assessor Collector's Office. And we discussed this at the last meeting, and we wanted to get some clarifications on the cost. And the, Matthew, as it looking now, do we get the clarifications and we keep it under 50,000 where we can go ahead and do this? Or
Yeah, I think that just to remind everybody, so the amount that they're bidding here is within a couple thousand under the 50,000, or maybe even about 1,000 under the 50. So we're right there bumping our head. We are not going to be able to use the personal and professional exemption from the competitive bidding statute, which means if we start approaching that 50, it looks like we're going to go over it, we're going to have to bid it out. And so I've talked about this with Ricky a good deal. I think the practical solution for this is to make sure it does not go over that. And we have a very strict approach towards that. But that's something that's within the county's control, within Ricky's control. And so, I feel confident he'll keep an eye on it and watch the time that they spend every month and be able to tell them that. So, but yeah, the only other option is I know that there are some buy board contracts that we could go with. But that would be a little bit of a delay here at the beginning. So not arguing for any particular route here. I'm just saying that, and I asked to put it on the agenda because this is a legitimate security concern, and Ricky does need some folks over there. So I just serve it up to y'all, and with those caveats.
Why are we going out for bids on this? I mean, I know it's under $50,000, but I mean, for the sake of taxpayers' money, why aren't we going out for bids instead of just grabbing the first one that rolls around?
I can address that. We didn't grab the first one. We looked at 5. The bids came in at $24.75 an hour armed. Unarmed was $5 less. We had the Marine time guys came in at $24 an hour. We had another one at $18 an hour. My understanding was that was unarmed, so we feel like there's probably going to be another $5 added to that. So it's probably $23. We had another one at $16, which after talking to a couple of the $24.75 and the $24 one, they both agreed that if they're able to provide you at $16, you're not getting the same quality of personnel that we get, because we feel like we need to pay our people to make sure you get dependable security. Once I Googled it out, basically trying to get something presented. And again, I presented this stuff to Harold, Dwayne, just, because they said, let's try to find some alternative before we get into the end of the deal. So we were kind of, not like we were last minute, but it was kind of like this option wasn't pursued to kind of the last minute, trying to get it in next year's budget. I know we've been pursuing a couple other options that didn't seem to materialize. So my concern was that we were gonna go a third year without really nailing down the security at the tax office. This October 6th, we'll be out there 2 years, and we're still kind of, up until getting this position, we still were, who's available, who's coming. And quite honestly, the last couple of weeks to 3 weeks, we've had no security. I think it's my responsibility to make sure we have some security in place. So, you know, we kind of, last year with COVID and everything, I understand that was kind of a screw up year for everybody. So things, and then with the third court coming back online, that took some of the people that were coming out. So various things have come on. I just felt like we couldn't go another year without addressing it. So it was suggested that we go outside. So basically I did, and we got this response. I have all their proposals. The one I like out of the 5 were the Marine Security. They're out of Kingwood. And the thing I especially liked was they're working for the rail yard, for the railroad, doing the bridge work out here in Liberty.
Yeah.
So he knew where Liberty was. He knew what kind of personnel. And he said, if you're trying to get people in the Houston area, it's a different pay grade than trying to get people kind of in this area. I don't know that they use local people, but they profess to be retired Marine people, retired police force, but they have very good accreditations. They have $1 million liability insurance. They made a very good presentation. They're actually coming out to do a walk of the place Thursday. They were supposed to come last week, but the owner's son had COVID exposure, so he had quarantine, whatever. I reached out to the guy who's in charge of the 3 buy board deals. I called the number. I still haven't heard back from him. So I did want to at least run by him to see, you know, what kind of, and I've never done anything on buy board. Is it a set price? Is it something that's already vented out? Is it more than $24? Is it less? So I can't tell you it is or not. And I haven't checked with any of those. I reached out to them. I just got these names, I think, Friday or Monday, you know, so I haven't been able to, and I wasn't yesterday. So I tried to reach out to them, and like I said, I haven't heard back. When you look at, from what I understand, if you actually go in, and I'm not speaking out of turn, but talking to people at the sheriff's office, $24 an hour, I don't think they could deliver someone at $24 an hour. I mean, I'm not, because again, we're just paying for them to come. We're not paying their benefits. They're not, you know, we're not paying anything else. It's simply $24 a month, a day, an hour, 8 hours a day. They're willing to come in with a vehicle that's marked as a security. It'll have lights on it. They come in fully armed and uniformed. They keep in constant communication. They have 2-way radios. They communicate with their deals. They have valuations and all that. Again, they seem to have pretty, it's not a couple of chucks in the truck to come out here and, you know, charge $24 an hour. It looked like they're pretty, you know, pretty professional. Again, I call a couple of their references. They were all said they keep in touch with them, good communication, they show up for work. And again, we need somebody as much as being a customer service person than as we need someone that would, you know, interfere with someone breaking in or causing a disturbance.
Have we ever considered lightening the threat by not accepting cash?
You can't,
So
code prohibits that. I looked into it. To me, cash is not the threat out there as much as a disturbance. And, you know, I mean, cash is the deal. You can recover other things, but again, fortunately, the general public doesn't know that we take in that kind of cash. A lot of them don't know the operation, but again, I'm not here to try to promote that. We do. But yeah, we did. I'd love to do it with cash, not so much the security as much as the hassle of keeping up with tills. And anyone who takes in cash knows that creates twice as much work. And, you know, but again, tax code requires that you do all the offered.
You did this with some of their references. You did this.
I did, yes,
Yeah.
I did, and they were both, all of them were complimentary, said that they communicate, they keep in touch.
What kind of facility do they work?
The ones out here,
Yeah.
that was the big one, I talked to him extensively, and another one was a hotel in, I forget the name of it, but, I talked to the manager, and they said they were good with them, and they gave one other reference I never was able to reach it. I think it was some night facility, so I didn't ever get back with them, so.
Dwayne, do we have this budget in, or can we budget this in?
We can budget this. It's actually, it's a lot cheaper than hiring a law enforcement.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about insurance or taxes or anything.
Yeah, it's a pretty clean deal. And again, as far as monitoring I don't have a problem with restricting that we keep it under the 50, not to circumvent the 50 deal. But we knew when we take the 15 and a half days of vacation, which I don't plan on having security when I'm not at work, that gets it down to right at $47,000 something.
They're aware of our.
And they are, exactly. And he said, I said, look, if I have to fire you the last week, he said, no, that's fine. And again, they also, I know there was a concern about, for 5 days later, they charge $50, 2-week billing. I told them, we're not gonna pay you every 2 weeks. It's gonna be 30 days and it's gonna be a routine billing. We're not gonna be bookkeeping this. He said, we're flexible with that. It's just a lot of times they deal with maybe weekly people, so, they want to pay it. And the upfront deal that set aside was they want the money to pay them before they do the work. That was that 1,900. It wasn't 1,900 plus the 47,000. That's the first 2-week pay. So it was an advance so they're using their money to pay it, I think.
So they're using our money.
So they're using our money to pay them rather than use their money. So they seem to be, like I said, they said they can come in 3-piece suits or they can come in, tag team. I said, no, I want you dressed out.
So many times in Commissioner's Court, we approve things and a month down the road, you still got the Dayton Annex and Cleveland Annex. What are we doing there? I'm asking this because if we approve this,
Let me answer that question.
yes,
And Dayton Annex, you have constable's offices there,
Constable in Cleveland has-
and your Cleveland office is the same, so they're secure. They're secure.
Plus they have a full glass enclosure, they have always someone else in the building, basically security. And again, it's always been the Liberty office is where, I guess, if vulnerability is there, we're probably more vulnerable than the other. Yeah, I'd like to have one at all three, no question, but just like when we were in the courthouse, we didn't have to have personal security. We had enough law enforcement in and out, that we were with the bailiffs and everyone else. So I feel like that's kind of what Cleveland and Dayton has, even though not the same extreme. But both of them have full glass exposures, locked doors, and multiple people there. So I feel like we're covering those. Not that it's not that we're ignoring them, it's just, we think this is probably where we need to go. And I think we'll take on the monitoring of it to make sure we don't exceed the 50. And it's obvious that we can control that. We control a lot of other things, so.
Yeah. Matthew, had a chance to look over pretty good, you and Catherine.
Yeah, there's no real concerns there. I have the addendum to add to it. Other than that, that's it. Yeah.
Leon?
I'm good with it. I did a little background on those folks. I'm very happy with the price they're charging, fully armed. They got a good reputable company. We're going to stay within budget, and I think we need to go with this. Rick needs the help.
second.
Thank you.
Got a motion, Greg, second from Bruce to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Got a motion, Bruce, second from Leon to adjourn.